How does a grown daughter take her father's pension and still sleep at night? Why did she come home smiling like I would beg her to save me? Can a fridge door opening be the moment a whole family finally understands what they did to me? My name is Garrick Rowen, and I'm 66 years old. I spent 38 years working as an electrical maintenance supervisor, climbing poles in winter storms and crawling through basement access tunnels that smelled like rust and old water. I fixed things. That's what I did. When a hospital lost power at 3 a.m., I was the one they called. When a school needed emergency repairs before the kids arrived, I was there at dawn. I worked until my knees gave out and my back started making sounds like gravel in a can. I retired 3 years ago with a pension. Not a fortune. Just $1,412 a month. But it was mine. I earned every cent with decades of showing up, doing the job right, and going home tired. My wife died when our daughter Elowen was 12. Cancer took her in 6 months, and I became a single father overnight. No family nearby to help, no instruction manual, just me and a girl who needed her mother and only had me. I worked overtime to pay for everything she needed. I learned to braid hair from a YouTube video. I sat through school plays and parent-teacher conferences and teenage drama. I did my best. Now Elowen is 33. She works as a salon receptionist, or she did until she decided to become a content creator, which, as far as I can tell, means posting photos online and hoping someone pays attention. She lives with her boyfriend Darian, a 36-year-old fitness coach, who mostly posts videos of himself lifting weights and talking about mindset. 2 years ago, I had knee surgery. Nothing major, but I needed help managing bills while I recovered. Elowen offered. She was living close by then, checking in every few days, and it seemed natural to give her access to my account. Temporary access. Just until I could walk without crutches. Except temporary became permanent. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. And now I'm standing in my kitchen on a Thursday morning, staring at my bank account on my phone, watching the numbers that don't make sense. Pension deposit, $1,412. Withdrawal, $1,412. Same day. Location, Seaside Plaza ATM, 9:47 a.m. I wasn't at Seaside Plaza. I haven't been to the coast in 6 years. But Elowen was. I know because I saw her post. A photo of her and Darian on a pier, the ocean behind them, both of them smiling like they'd won something. The caption said, "Sometimes you just need to escape and breathe." I set my phone down carefully. My hands aren't shaking. I'm not panicking. Panic is for people who don't understand what's happening. I understand perfectly. My daughter took my pension money and went on vacation. I opened my wallet. 3 $20 bills, 2 5s, 1 crumpled single, $71. That's what I have until the next deposit, which is 3 weeks away. I open the refrigerator. The shelves look emptier than they should. A jar of pickles with 3 left. Half a loaf of white bread, the discount kind. A container of rice from 4 days ago that I've been stretching. 2 eggs, ketchup, butter. I close the door. $71 for 3 weeks. I need groceries. I need blood pressure medication that costs $35 if I can get the generic. I need food that isn't 4 days old. I need my pension money. I sit at the kitchen table. The chair creaks. Everything in this house creaks now. Me included. My phone buzzes, a notification from social media, another post from Elowen. This time it's a plate of food. Shrimp and lobster, arranged on a white plate with lemon wedges and garnish. The kind of meal that costs $40, maybe $50. I stare at the lobster. I look at my refrigerator. I close the app. There's a knock at my door. I'm not expecting anyone, but I stand anyway. My knee protests, the surgery site aching. I limp to the front door. Merelda Vane stands on my porch holding a canvas grocery bag. She's 61, lives next door, and has one of those faces that notices everything without judging anything. "Morning, Garrick," she says. Her voice is soft, too soft. "I had some extras from the store. Thought you might want them." I look at the bag. I can see a box of pasta, a can of soup, a small container of butter. "Merelda, you don't have to." "I know I don't have to," she says, and pushes the bag toward me. "But I did, so take it." I take the bag. It weighs almost nothing, but it feels heavier than my entire tool belt used to. "Thank you," I say. She looks at me for a moment. Her eyes are kind but sharp. "You look thinner, Garrick. Every week you look a little thinner." I nod. Don't trust my voice. "If you need anything," she says. "Anything at all, I'm right there." She points at her house 20 feet away. She leaves before I can say anything else. I carry the bag inside and set it on the counter. I don't open it right away. I just stand there, staring at it, feeling a strange mix of gratitude and shame. I'm 66 years old. I worked for almost 4 decades. I have a pension. I shouldn't need charity groceries from my neighbor, but I do. My phone buzzes again. A text from Elowen. "Hey Dad, having the best time. The ocean is amazing. You'd love it here. Miss you." I read it 3 times. She doesn't ask how I am, doesn't mention the money, doesn't seem to remember that her best time is happening with my survival fund. I type a response. Delete it. Type another. Delete that too. Finally I write, "Glad you're safe." She sends back a heart emoji and a sun emoji. I set the phone down. I open Merelda's bag. Chicken noodle soup, pasta with a cheese packet, a small jar of peanut butter. Simple things, cheap things. Enough to make 2 meals if I'm careful. I put everything away, arranging the items like pieces on a chessboard. This is my inventory now. This is what I have to work with. I take out an old envelope and make a list on the back. Not a shopping list. A survival list. $71. Bread, $3. Eggs, $4. Rice, 5-pound bag, $6. Peanut butter, $5. Oatmeal, $4. Canned beans, 3 cans, $4 total. Milk, $4. Total, $30. That leaves $41 for medication. My blood pressure prescription costs $42 without assistance, but sometimes the pharmacy has a generic for $35 if I ask nicely. Everything else will have to wait. I fold the envelope and put it in my shirt pocket. The rest of the day moves slowly. I eat a small bowl of rice with a fried egg on top. I drink water. I sit in my recliner and look at the photos on the shelf. Me and Elowen when she was 6, missing her 2 front teeth. Me and my wife on our wedding day, young and stupid and happy. Me in my work uniform, 30 years younger, stronger. I don't recognize that man anymore. Evening comes. My phone buzzes. Another post. A video this time. Elowen and Darian at a beach bonfire. Music playing. People laughing. Someone hands her a drink. She toasts the camera. "To living your best life," she shouts, and everyone cheers. I watch it once. Then my phone buzzes with a different notification. A banking alert. "New device logged into your account from Seaside 8:43 p.m. I stare at the screen. She's still in my account. Still moving through my money like it's hers. I set the phone down. My hands are steady. My mind is cold and clear. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a choice. She chose lobster dinners over my groceries. She chose beach vacations over my medication. She chose her best life over my survival. And I'm going to have to make some choices too. I get up and go to the drawer by the kitchen where I keep old files. I pull out my bank statements from the past 6 months. I print screenshots from my phone showing Elowen's posts with timestamps. I make a list of dates when money disappeared and dates when I couldn't afford food or medicine. I'm not doing this out of anger. I'm doing it because I used to trace electrical problems for a living. You start at the break and follow the connections until you find the source. This is a break. And I'm going to fix it. I don't sleep that night. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling. my mind running numbers like a calculator that won't shut off. $71 minus 30 for food minus 35 for medicine equals $6. $6 to last 3 weeks. I get up before sunrise. My knee is worse in the mornings, a deep ache that over-the-counter pills barely touch. I should have the prescription anti-inflammatory by now, but that's gone. Just another thing Elowen's vacation cost me. The kitchen is dark. I stand by the window and watch the street wake up. A car passes, a dog barks. Merelda's porch light comes on, normal life happening around me while I'm stuck counting pennies. I think about Elowen, not the adult she is now, but the child I raised. When did it change? When did my father become easy money? I remember her at 7, crying because she lost her favorite stuffed rabbit. I searched the house for an hour until I found it behind the washing machine. She hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. I remember her at 16, screaming that I was ruining her life because I wouldn't let her go to a party where I knew there'd be alcohol. We didn't speak for 2 days. Then she apologized, small and quiet, and said she understood I was just trying to protect her. I remember her at 23, moving into her first apartment. I helped carry boxes up 3 flights of stairs, my back screaming the entire time. She made me dinner afterward. Spaghetti with jarred sauce, garlic bread from the grocery store bakery. Simple, but she was so proud. "Thanks for always being there, Dad," she'd said. When did always being there become something to exploit? Maybe it was when she started at the salon and met the other girls, the ones who posted every meal and every outfit and measured their worth in likes and comments. Or maybe it was when Darian showed up. Darian Kelm, 36 years old, part-time fitness coach, which means he posts workout videos online and sells supplement plans he probably didn't create himself. He's charming in that surface way, all white teeth and confidence. The first time we met, he called me Pops, like we were buddies. Like he hadn't just inserted himself into my daughter's life and started whispering about upgrades and experiences and living your best life. "You only live once, Pops," he'd said once, lounging on my couch like he owned it. "Elowen deserves the good life. She works so hard." What he meant was, she deserves to spend money, preferably mine. Elowen changed after Darian, slowly at first. A new purse here, a weekend trip there, then bigger things, a car lease she couldn't afford, an apartment with higher rent, dinners at restaurants where the portions were tiny and the prices weren't. And when the money ran short, she started looking at me differently. Not like a father, like a resource. "Dad, you have that pension," she'd said one evening, casual as asking about the weather. "You don't even spend it all. Why not help me out a little?" I did help. I paid her car insurance once when she was short, covered her groceries another time. I thought I was being a good father. But the asks kept coming. Bigger each time. The gratitude got smaller. Then it disappeared. I make instant coffee, the cheap kind that tastes like burned cardboard. I sit at the table with the mug warming my hands and try to remember the last time Elowen asked how I was doing. Really asked, expecting an answer, not just making polite sounds. I can't remember. The sun comes up. I get dressed. Jeans that hang looser than they should. A flannel shirt. My old work jacket with the good pockets. I have errands to run. The bus stop is 3 blocks away. I walk slowly, favoring my bad knee, watching people drive past in their cars. I used to drive. Had a decent truck. Sold it 2 years ago when the insurance got too expensive, and I wasn't going anywhere anyway. Elowen suggested it. "You don't need a truck, Dad. You're retired. Save the money." Save the money. Right. The bus comes. I pay the $2 fare and find a seat near the back. An older woman sits across from me, bags at her feet, staring out the window. We don't speak. Bus people never do. I get off at the discount grocery store, the one where everything is too bright and the floors stick and the whole place smells like industrial cleaner. I take a cart even though I don't need it, It gives me something to lean on. I move slowly through the aisles, picking items from my list. White bread, $2.49. Eggs, $4.12. Rice, 5-pound bag, $6.99. I check every price twice, doing math in my head, making sure I don't go over. In the canned goods aisle, I see a woman I vaguely recognize from the neighborhood. She glances at me, smiles politely, then looks away quickly. I wonder if she can tell. If there's something about me now that screams, one of those old men who counts pennies. I pick up 3 cans of beans. Store brand, 99 cents each. At the register, the cashier is young, maybe 19. She scans my items without looking at me, moving on autopilot. $32.17, she says. I hand her 2 20s. She makes change, $7.83. I take it and leave. Outside, I pack everything into my old work backpack. It still smells like machine oil and canvas. I adjust the straps and start walking toward the pharmacy. 6 blocks. My knee starts complaining after 3. I stop at a bench near the park and sit. Watch people pass. A young couple pushing a stroller, a man jogging with earbuds, a group of teenagers laughing about something. I take out my phone and check Elowen's social media. I don't know why. Maybe hoping for some explanation. Some emergency that justified everything. But no. Just more pictures. Her and Darian at breakfast. A stack of waffles covered in syrup and fruit and powdered sugar. The caption, "Fueling up for another beach day." I put the phone away. At the pharmacy, I wait in line behind a man picking up prescriptions for his mother. The pharmacy tech, a younger guy named Ivo Lasker, handles it with patience and kindness. When it's my turn, Ivo looks up and recognizes me. "Mr. Rowen," he says, "refill on the blood pressure medication?" "Yes, generic if you have it." He types on his computer, frowns slightly. "I have the generic. That's $34.95, but I'm also showing that your anti-inflammatory prescription is overdue. For your knee, do you want to refill that too? Just the blood pressure today." Something changes in his face. Not pity exactly. Recognition. He's seen this before, old people choosing between medications. "Okay," he says quietly. "Give me a few minutes." I wait by the magazine rack, covers promising easy meals, simple budgets, happy retirements, all lies. Ivo calls me back. I pay $34.95. That leaves me with $42.88 total, less than half of what I started with this morning. 3 weeks until the next pension deposit. I walk home slowly. My knee doesn't want to cooperate. Halfway there, I have to stop and lean against a light pole, catching my breath, feeling fragile and old. A car slows beside me. A woman in her 40s rolls down the window, concern in her eyes. "Are you okay, sir?" "I'm fine," I say. "Just resting." She hesitates, then drives on. I'm not fine, but there's no point saying it. When I get home, Merelda is on her porch watering plants. She sets the can down when she sees me. "Garrick," she says, coming down her steps. "You look exhausted." "Long walk." She stands at the edge of my yard, studying me. "You're getting smaller. Every time I see you, you look smaller." I don't know what to say to that. "I'm okay," I manage. She doesn't look convinced, but she nods. "You need a ride somewhere, you tell me. Anytime." "Thank you." Inside, I put the groceries away. Make a sandwich with the new bread and old peanut butter. Eat half, save the rest for later. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer anyway. "Mr. Rowen?" A man's voice, calm and professional. "Yes." "This is Orrin Dask from Coastal Credit Union. I'm calling about some unusual activity on your account. Do you have a few minutes to talk?" I sit down slowly. "Yes," I say. "I have time." "Good. Mr. Rowen, our fraud detection system flagged several large withdrawals from your account. Can you confirm whether you were in Seaside last week?" "No." "And did you authorize withdrawals totaling approximately $3,000 between the 3rd and 7th of this month?" "No." Typing sounds. I see that you have an authorized user on this account. Elowen Rowen, is that correct? That's my daughter. And did you authorize her to make these withdrawals? I hesitate, because technically I gave her access 2 years ago, but not for this. Never for this. I gave her temporary access after a surgery, I say carefully. That was 2 years ago. It was supposed to be temporary. I understand. Mr. Rowen, I need to be direct with you. The pattern of activity we're seeing here is consistent with what we call elder financial exploitation. Are you familiar with that term? I've heard it. It's when someone with legitimate access to an account uses that access in ways that harm the account holder. It often happens with family members. I'd like you to come into the branch so we can review the account together and discuss your options. Would Tuesday at 10 a.m. work for you? Tuesday. That's when Elowen said she'd be back. She texted yesterday. Home Tuesday, let's do dinner at your place, I'll bring wine. Wine, like we're celebrating something. Tuesday works, I say. Excellent. And Mr. Rowen, if you notice any additional unusual activity before then, call us immediately. Do you have a secure place to keep important documents? Yes. Good. We'll see you Tuesday at 10. He hangs up. I sit holding the phone. Elder financial exploitation. The words feel too big, too official, like something that happens to confused people who don't see it coming. But I saw it coming. I just didn't want to believe my own daughter would do this to me. I spend the afternoon organizing documents, bank statements from the past 2 years, screenshots of Elowen's posts with timestamps, a timeline of dates when money disappeared and dates when I couldn't afford groceries or medicine. I'm not angry. Not yet. I'm methodical, focused. Like when I used to trace electrical failures at work, following each wire until I found the break. This is a break, and I'm going to document every detail. That evening, I go to the senior center. They're having a presentation on financial safety for older adults. Free admission. I figure I should learn what options I have. The room is small, filled with folding chairs. Maybe 15 people, all older than 50, all looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. The presenter talks too fast, uses too many acronyms. I try to follow along, but my mind keeps drifting to the empty fridge, the missing money, the smiling photos of lobster dinners. After the presentation, people cluster in small groups near the coffee station. I overhear 2 women talking. My son keeps asking to borrow money, one says. Every month it's something new. Car payment, rent, credit cards. I finally said no, and he stopped calling for 3 weeks. That's manipulation, the other woman says. He's punishing you. I know, but it still hurts. They move away, but the words stay with me. Manipulation, punishment, tools people use to get what they want. I take the bus home. In my head, I'm driving because that's what I used to do. I used to be independent, capable, used to be. Merelda is on her porch when I get home. I wonder if she ever goes inside. Garrick, she calls. You want some tea? I almost say no. My house is quiet and I'm tired, but something makes me say yes. Her living room is warm, full of color and family photos. She brings me a mug of herbal tea, too sweet, but I drink it anyway. You've been thinking hard about something, she says, sitting across from me. Just sorting some things out. With Elowen? I look at her. How did you know? Because I pay attention, Garrick. I see you getting thinner while she posts pictures of expensive meals. I see you walking to the bus stop while she drives a new car. I'm not blind. I set the mug down. I don't want pity. Good. Because I'm not offering pity. I'm offering truth. What she's doing is wrong, and the only reason she's getting away with it is because shame keeps you quiet. I'm not ashamed. Yes, you are. You're ashamed that your daughter treats you like an ATM. You're ashamed that you need help. You're ashamed that people notice. But shame is just another tool, Garrick. Don't give her that power. I stare at the tea, watching the steam disappear. I'm handling it, I say. Good, Merelda says. Because someone needs to. I finish the tea and leave. Walk the 20 feet back to my house feeling like I've run a marathon. Inside, I check my phone. One voicemail from a number I don't recognize. I play it. Garrick, it's Bram. Bram, my older brother, 69 years old, lives 2 states away. We haven't spoken in probably 3 years. Not since he sided with my ex-wife during the separation and told me I was too rigid and couldn't compromise. Elowen called me, his voice continues. She's worried about you. Said you're confused about money, maybe not thinking clearly. Look, I don't want to get involved in family drama, but if you need help managing your finances, just ask. Don't be stubborn, call me back. I delete the message. Confused about money, not thinking clearly. That's the story she's building. I'm old, confused, unreliable. If I complain, it's because I don't understand. If I push back, it's because I'm losing my grip. She's preparing the ground, making sure that when I finally say something, no one will believe me. But she made a mistake. She underestimated documentation. She underestimated me. I pull up a number on my phone, one I saved months ago after seeing a flyer at the senior center, Adult Protective Services. I stare at it for a long time. Then I press call. A woman answers on the 3rd ring. Adult Protective Services, Selma Price speaking. How can I help you? I take a breath. I need to report financial exploitation, I say. Selma Price has the kind of voice that makes you feel like she's heard your story before and still cares about it. She doesn't rush me, doesn't interrupt, just listens. I tell her the basics: pension deposits disappearing, daughter with account access, Seaside vacation, empty fridge, missed medication. When I finish, she asks careful questions. How long has your daughter had access to your account? 2 years. Was that access meant to be permanent or temporary? Temporary. I had surgery. She was helping with bills. Did you ever formally revoke that access? No. I didn't know I needed to. She's my daughter. I thought I could trust her. Most people think that, Selma says gently. That's why this happens so often. Mr. Rowen, what you're describing sounds like financial abuse. It's a reportable offense under state law. Would you like to pursue that? I hesitate. Pursuing it makes it real, makes it permanent. I don't want her arrested, I say. That's not always the outcome. Often these cases result in intervention, protective measures, restitution. It depends on what you want and what the evidence shows. Can you document the transactions? Yes, I have bank statements, screenshots, dates. That's very good. I'd like to meet with you in person to review everything. Can you come to our office tomorrow? 11 a.m.? Tomorrow is Friday. I have nothing else scheduled. When you're 66 and broke and tired, your calendar is mostly empty. I'll be there, I say. Good. Bring all your documentation. And Mr. Rowen, you're doing the right thing. She hangs up. I sit at the kitchen table holding my phone. The right thing. Everyone keeps saying that. But it doesn't feel right. It feels like betrayal and survival mixed together into something I can't name. The next morning, I take the bus downtown. The Adult Protective Services office is in a gray government building that looks like every other government building. Fluorescent lights, linoleum floors, walls the color of nothing. Selma Price is younger than her voice suggested. Mid-40s, with short, practical hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She shakes my hand firmly. Mr. Rowen, thank you for coming in. Let's talk in my office. The office is small but organized. She gestures for me to sit and pulls out a notepad. Tell me everything, she says. Start from the beginning. So I do. The surgery, the temporary access, the slow changes in Elowen after Darian appeared, the increasing withdrawals, the Seaside trip, the lobster dinners posted online while my fridge emptied, the new device alert, the phone call from the credit union. I show her the documents I brought, bank statements with highlighted withdrawals, screenshots of Elowen's social media posts with timestamps that match transaction dates, my medication timeline showing when I couldn't afford refills, Grocery receipts, showing declining purchases. Selma takes notes. Her face stays neutral, professional. When I finish, she looks up. Mr. Rowen, this is very clear-cut. You have documentation, patterns, evidence of financial harm. I'm going to open a formal case. We'll coordinate with your bank and potentially with law enforcement depending on the total amount involved. Are you prepared for that? I don't know, I say honestly. It's going to be difficult, she says. Your daughter will know you reported this. Your family will have opinions. People will take sides. But the alternative is letting this continue. And based on these patterns, it will continue. People who do this don't stop until they're forced to stop. People who do this, like Elowen, is a category now, not my daughter. What do I need to do? I ask. Keep documenting everything. Protect your access to funds. Follow through with the credit union meeting. And remember, this isn't about revenge or punishment. It's about stopping harm and protecting yourself. She hands me her card with a direct number. Call if anything changes or if you need help. I'll be in touch within 48 hours. I leave the office feeling lighter and heavier at the same time. From there, I go straight to Coastal Credit Union. Orrin Dask meets me in a small office in the back, away from the main floor. Mr. Rowen, thank you for coming in. Let's review your account activity. He pulls up my records on his computer screen and angles the monitor so I can see. Transaction after transaction. Small withdrawals at first, $50 or $100, then larger amounts, $200, $500, $1,000. In the past 6 months, Orrin says, there have been withdrawals totaling $8,347, all from ATMs in locations where you weren't present, all during times when your daughter was confirmed to be in those locations based on her social media activity. $8,000, more than half a year's pension, gone. This exceeds any reasonable interpretation of authorized assistance, Orrin continues. Even though you originally gave her access, this pattern constitutes abuse of that access. We can revoke her authorization immediately. We can also flag the account for security review and implement additional protections. Would you like us to proceed? Yes, I say. No hesitation. He types, clicks, pulls up forms. Sign here, and here, and here. I sign. Effective immediately, Elowen Rowen no longer has any access to this account. We're also implementing two-factor authentication for all transactions over $100. You'll receive text alerts for every withdrawal or transfer, and if she attempts to access the account again, we'll deny the request and notify you immediately. Thank you. There's one more thing. Orrin pulls out a folder. If you want to pursue restitution or file a formal complaint, we can provide documentation to support that. Security footage from ATMs, device login records, transaction summaries. It's your decision whether to use them. I'm already working with Adult Protective Services, I say. He nods. Then you're taking this seriously. That's good. Most people don't. He hands me the folder. Everything you need is in here. Keep it safe. I leave the bank with the folder under my arm. Evidence, proof, the truth in black and white. At home, I make a simple lunch. Rice and beans from Merelda's charity bag. It tastes fine. Food is food when you're hungry enough. My phone rings. Elowen. My finger hovers over the decline button, but I answer. Hey, Dad. Her voice is bright, cheerful, completely normal. Just wanted to let you know we're heading home tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. Let's do dinner at your place. I'll bring wine, and we can catch up properly. Wine. She wants to bring wine to my house after stealing my money. Sure, I say. My voice is flat, but she doesn't notice. Perfect. I'll text when we're getting close. Love you. She hangs up before I can respond. Love you. She says it so easily, like the words have no weight. I stand in the kitchen holding the phone. Tomorrow she'll come home tan and happy, expecting gratitude. Expecting me to smile and pretend everything is fine. Expecting me to play the role of grateful father while she plays generous daughter. But I'm done playing roles. I open the refrigerator and stare at the nearly empty shelves. An idea forms slowly. Tomorrow, she wants dinner. Tomorrow, she wants to celebrate her vacation. Tomorrow, she's going to learn what her vacation actually cost. I spend the rest of the day preparing. Not food, something else. I organize the documents, bank statements, screenshots, timelines, the folder from Oren, the case number from Selma, everything that proves what happened. I put it all in a clear plastic sleeve and place it in the center of the middle shelf of my refrigerator, right where anyone opening the door would see it. Then I write a note. Simple. Direct. This is what your vacation cost me. I put the note on top of the sleeve. Close the fridge. Sit down. Wait. I wake up Saturday morning to silence. The folder sits on the counter. The refrigerator holds its secret. Today, Elowen comes home. At noon, Merelda knocks. Elowen's coming back today? This afternoon. You need me nearby? Not inside, but close. I'll be on my porch. At 2 p.m., Oren Dask calls. Our security team is available if needed. Her access is fully revoked. We also have security footage showing her at the ATM with a man waiting nearby. Thank you. At 4 p.m., a text arrives. Dad, be there in 20 minutes. So excited. I sit in my recliner and wait. 22 minutes later, a car pulls up. Loud music, laughter, doors slamming. Elowen walks in first, tanned and glowing in an expensive sundress. Darian follows with wine and sunglasses indoors. Dad! She hugs me. I missed you so much. I hug back briefly. Say nothing. So what are we having for dinner? Elowen opens cabinets. I'm starving. I don't have much, I say. She laughs. Dad, don't be modest. She opens the refrigerator. The smile freezes, then fades. She stares, long enough that Darian notices. The refrigerator is almost empty. Pickles, half a loaf, 1 egg, and in the center, a clear plastic sleeve with documents. Her hand trembles as she reaches for it. Dad, what is this? Open it, I say calmly. She opens it. Her face goes white. Bank statements. $8,347 highlighted. Screenshots of her posts matched to withdrawals. Credit union letter revoking access. Adult Protective Services case number. ATM security stills. Timeline of my missed meals and medications. Everything. Dad, what? I don't understand. Yes, you do, I say quietly. Darian steps closer. Pops, come on. $8,347. That's how much you took. Took? Elowen's voice cracks. You gave me access. Temporary access for bills after surgery, not for vacations. But I was going to pay you back. You needed lobster dinners while I couldn't afford eggs. That's not fair. We're struggling. On my pension, I say. The doorbell rings. Elowen's head whips around. Who is that? The credit union representative, I say, and open the door. Oren Dask steps inside. He looks at Elowen. Miss Rowen, I'm Oren Dask from Coastal Credit Union. Your access to your father's accounts has been permanently revoked. Any further attempts will be treated as fraud. I'm his daughter. That doesn't give you the right to withdraw $8,000 without permission, Oren says. In legal terms, that's theft. I didn't steal anything. You used authorized access for unauthorized purposes while the account holder couldn't afford necessities. My phone rings. I answer. Hello? Mr. Rowen, this is Selma Price. I'm outside. Is now a good time? Yes, come in. Selma Price steps inside. She looks at Elowen. You must be Elowen Rowen. I'm Selma Price with Adult Protective Services. Your father filed a formal complaint. This is now an active investigation under elder protection laws. Elowen's face crumples. Dad, please, I'm your daughter. And I'm your father, I say quietly. I raised you alone. I worked until my body broke, and you repaid me by taking the only security I had left. I'm sorry, I'll pay it back. With what money? She has no answer, just sobs. Selma speaks calmly. Miss Rowen, you'll receive formal notification within 72 hours. You may face civil or criminal charges. I recommend you consult an attorney. Dad, please, Elowen whispers. I look at her. See the little girl who held my hand, the teenager who apologized, the young woman who thanked me, and I see the woman who took $8,000 while I counted pennies. You did this to yourself, I say. Darian grabs her arm. Come on, babe. We need to go. Dad. Leave, I say, quietly. Elowen stands frozen, tears streaming. Then Darian pulls her toward the door. She looks back once. I loved you, she says. Past tense, I say. They leave. The door closes. Silence. Oren looks at me. Are you all right? No, I say honestly. But I will be. Selma hands me a card. This is your case number. Someone will contact you next week. They leave. The house is empty. Just me and silence. The doorbell rings again. Merelda stands there. Are you okay? I think so. She sits with me. Doesn't ask questions. Just sits. You did what you had to do, she says after a while. Doesn't feel good. It's not supposed to. That's how you know it mattered. We sit in silence. Eventually, she makes tea. When she leaves, I'm alone again. I walk through the house, turn off lights, check locks, take my medication, brush my teeth. Normal evening routine. Except nothing is normal anymore. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow the real consequences begin. But tonight, for the first time in months, my pension money is safe. My account is protected. And that's enough. Sunday morning I wake up to 17 missed calls and 23 text messages. I don't read them. I turn off the phone and make coffee. Real coffee this time. I bought a decent bag yesterday after confirming my pension deposit was secure. Small luxury. It tastes like victory. I sit at the kitchen table and look at the folder of documents still on the counter. Evidence, proof, the truth. I should put it away, but I leave it out. A reminder. At noon, someone knocks on the door. I look through the peephole. A woman in her late 50s, well-dressed, expression tight with controlled anger. I don't recognize her, but I can guess. I open the door. Mr. Rowen? She says. I'm Nalia Kelm, Darian's mother. Of course she is. Yes? I need to talk to you about what happened yesterday. May I come in? No. Her face stiffens. Excuse me? I said no. You can say what you need to say from there. She takes a breath, trying to compose herself. Mr. Rowen, I heard about your accusations against Elowen, and I have to say, I think you're being extremely unfair. She's a young woman trying to make her way in a difficult world. She made a mistake, yes, but pressing charges. Calling in government agencies, that's cruel. She took $8,000 from me while I couldn't afford food. She borrowed money from her father. There's a difference. Not legally. You're her father. Family helps each other. You're supposed to… I'm supposed to what? I interrupt. Starve quietly? Skip medication? Pretend $8,000 of theft is normal because we share DNA? It's not theft if you gave her access. I gave her temporary access for a specific purpose. She used it to fund vacations. Nalia's voice rises. You're an old man living alone on a pension you don't even fully spend. What's the harm in helping your daughter live a little? She's young. She deserves experiences. On my dime. You don't need all that money. You're retired. You don't go anywhere. You're just sitting on it like some what? I ask quietly. Some old person who thinks they deserve to eat? Who thinks their pension should actually support them? She falters. You should be ashamed, she says finally. Destroying your daughter's future over money. She destroyed my present for vacation photos. You're a bitter old man. And you raised a son who helped my daughter steal from me. So where does that leave us? Nalia's face goes red. My son did nothing wrong. He was at the ATMs. In the security footage, he knew. He thought you gave permission. Then he's either a liar or an idiot. Either way, he's not welcome in my house. She opens her mouth, closes it, opens it again. You'll regret this, she says. I already regret raising a daughter who thought I was an easy target. She turns and walks to her car, heels clicking angrily on the pavement. I close the door, turn my phone back on. The messages are what I expected. Some from Elowen, crying and begging. Some from Darian, angry and defensive. One from Bram, lecturing me about family loyalty. One from a cousin I haven't spoken to in 10 years, telling me I'm being dramatic. I delete them all. One message is different. From Selma Price. Mr. Rowen, please call me when you have a moment. Need to discuss next steps. I call her. Mr. Rowen, thank you for calling back. I wanted to update you on the investigation. Based on the documentation you provided and the statements from the credit union, we have sufficient evidence to proceed with formal charges if you choose to pursue that. However, there's also the option of mediation and restitution without criminal prosecution. What would you prefer? I don't want her in prison, I say. I just want my money back and protection from this happening again. That's reasonable. I'll set up mediation for next week. Both parties will need attorneys present. In the meantime, maintain all documentation and don't communicate with your daughter directly. Everything should go through official channels now. Understood. Mr. Rowen, I want you to know you're handling this exactly right. Most people in your situation don't report. They suffer in silence. You're protecting yourself and potentially protecting others she might have done this to in the future. Others. I hadn't thought of that. What if she did this to someone else someday? What if not stopping her now meant enabling her to do it again? Thank you, I say. After I hang up, I sit quietly for a while. Then I call the credit union and ask for Orrin Dask. Mr. Rowen, he answers, how are you holding up? Okay. I wanted to ask about the security footage you mentioned, the ATM videos. Can you send those to Adult Protective Services? Already done. We sent everything yesterday per their request. Transaction logs, device access records, security footage, the whole file. Thank you. Mr. Rowen, can I ask you something? Yes. Do you have other family, support system? A neighbor, Merelda. She's been helpful. Good. Because the next few weeks are going to be hard. Your daughter is going to try everything to get you to drop this. Guilt, anger, other family members applying pressure. Don't let them manipulate you. You did nothing wrong. I keep telling myself that. Tell yourself as many times as you need to. It's true. I hang up and look around my kitchen. The empty fridge, the cheap furniture, the worn floors. This is my life. Small, modest, mine. And nobody gets to take it from me anymore. That evening, Merelda brings over a casserole. You're feeding me too much, I say. You need feeding, she counters. Besides, I made too much. You're doing me a favor. We eat together at my kitchen table. Chicken and rice casserole. Simple and good. How are you really doing? She asks. Tired, angry, relieved, all of it mixed together. That sounds about right. Her boyfriend's mother came by this morning. Told me I was a bitter old man for reporting this. Merelda snorts. Of course she did. People like that always defend their own, even when they're wrong. How'd you handle it? Told her to leave. Good. Merelda sets down her fork. Garrick, I want to say something and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. Okay. You raised Elowen alone after your wife passed. You worked yourself to the bone giving her everything, and somewhere along the way, she learned that you'd always be there to rescue her, that there were no real consequences, that she could take and you'd just keep giving. That's on me then. No, that's on her for choosing to exploit it. You were being a good father. She chose to be a bad daughter. That's not your fault. I think about that. When does being a good father turn into being a doormat? When the person you're helping starts taking more than you can give and doesn't care what it costs you. That's the line. And she crossed it a long time ago. We finish eating in comfortable silence. After Merelda leaves, I wash the dishes and put them away. Small, normal tasks that feel bigger than they should. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. This is Attorney Cale Brennan. I represent Garrick Rowen. I'd like to discuss a possible resolution to this matter. Please call me at your earliest convenience. So it's starting. The legal machinery turning. I don't call back, not tonight. Tonight, I'm just going to sit in my recliner and watch something mindless on TV and be grateful that my pension money is finally, actually mine again. Small victories, but victories nonetheless. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. I'm sitting in a conference room at the Adult Protective Services office, fluorescent lights humming, beige walls, a long table with chairs on both sides. Selma Price sits to my right. Orrin Dask from the credit union sits beside her. They both have folders open, documents arranged neatly. On the other side of the table, empty chairs. Waiting. They should be here by now, Selma says, checking her watch. She'll come, I say. She doesn't have a choice. 5 minutes later, the door opens. A man in his 40s wearing an expensive suit enters first. Attorney Cale Brennan. Behind him, Elowen walks in slowly. She's not tanned anymore. She's pale with dark circles under her eyes. Darian's not with her. She doesn't look at me. They sit. Brennan sets his briefcase on the table and opens it. Thank you for agreeing to this mediation, Brennan says. My client is prepared to discuss a reasonable resolution. Let's be clear about the situation, Selma says. Your client withdrew $8,347 from her father's account over a 6-month period. She used that money for personal expenses while Mr. Rowen couldn't afford food or medication. We have documentation, security footage, and testimony. This is elder financial exploitation under state law. Brennan nods. My client acknowledges that mistakes were made. However, she did have authorized access to the account. There was no breaking and entering, no hacking, no fraud in the technical sense. Abuse of authorized access is still abuse, Orrin says. The law is clear on this. Which is why my client is here to make things right, Brennan says. She's prepared to offer full restitution through a structured payment plan. What kind of plan? I ask. My first words since they arrived. Elowen flinches at my voice but still doesn't look at me. Brennan pulls out a document. $200 per month for 42 months. That's $8,400 total, slightly more than the principal amount as a gesture of good faith. 42 months, I say. 3.5 years. My client's current financial situation doesn't allow for a lump sum payment. This is what she can reasonably afford. While working as a salon receptionist, I ask, or as a content creator. Elowen's face flushes red. My client's employment status is not relevant, Brennan says. It is if she's planning to pay me back, I say. I want to know where the money is coming from. I want to know she's actually capable of making these payments. Silence. Finally, Elowen speaks, her voice small. I got my old job back, at the salon. Full-time. I can afford $200 a month. What about Darian? I ask. We're not together anymore, she says quietly. Good, I think, but don't say. Mr. Rowen, Selma says, you don't have to accept this offer. We can pursue full restitution through the courts, which might result in a judgment and wage garnishment, or we can accept the payment plan with strict legal terms. I look at Elowen. She's staring at the table, tears running silently down her face. If I accept the payment plan, I say, I want conditions. What conditions? Brennan asks. First, she signs a formal agreement admitting wrongdoing, not mistakes. Wrongdoing. I want it in writing that she took money without permission and caused financial harm. Brennan looks at Elowen. She nods slowly. Second, she agrees to never have any access to any of my financial accounts ever again. Not now, not if I'm sick, not if I'm dying. Never. Another nod. Third, if she misses a single payment, the full remaining balance becomes due immediately, and I pursue legal action. No excuses, no extensions. That's harsh, Brennan says. She was harsh when she took my grocery money for lobster, I say. Silence. Fine, Brennan says. We'll agree to those terms. One more thing, I say. I want the first payment today. Right now, before we leave this room. Elowen looks up finally. Her eyes are red and swollen. I don't have $200 on me. Then go to an ATM, I say. You seem to have no problem finding ATMs when it was my money. She flinches like I slapped her. Mr. Rowen, Brennan starts. Those are my terms, I say. All of them. Non-negotiable. Elowen stands up shakily. I'll go get the money. She leaves the room. Brennan stays, organizing papers, not making eye contact with anyone. 20 minutes later, Elowen returns. She sets $200 in cash on the table, $20 bills. They sit there like an accusation. Brennan prepares the documents. We all sign. It takes another hour of paperwork and legal language and witnessing signatures. Finally, it's done. Selma hands me a copy of the agreement. This is legally binding. If she violates any terms, contact me immediately. I take the papers. Take the $200. Put both in my folder. Elowen stands. Brennan stands. They walk to the door. At the doorway, Elowen stops. Turns back. Dad, she says. Her voice cracks. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. But I am sorry. I look at her. See the little girl who lost her toy. The teenager who apologized for yelling. The young woman who thanked me for everything. And I see the woman who took $8,000 while I counted pennies. I hope you are, I say. Because this is who you became. Remember that. She nods once, then leaves. The door closes. The room is quiet. How do you feel? Selma asks. Empty, I say honestly. That's normal. Give it time. Orrin hands me a card. Your account is fully secured. We've implemented every protection available. No one can access it but you. Thank you. They both leave. I sit alone in the conference room for a few minutes, holding the folder and the cash. $200. The first payment of 42. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. But it's something. I stand up, walk out to the lobby, take the bus home. At home, I put the cash in my wallet, file the agreement in my cabinet, make lunch, normal day, normal life, except everything changed. That evening, as the sun sets, I stand in my kitchen one more time, open the refrigerator, look at the empty shelves. Tomorrow, I'll go shopping. Buy real food, fill these shelves properly. Tomorrow, I'll start over. But tonight, I just stand here, looking at the evidence folder I left on the middle shelf, the folder that changed everything. My phone buzzes, a text from Merelda. You okay? I text back. Yeah, it's over. Come over for tea? Give me 10 minutes. I close the fridge, look around my kitchen, my house, my life, small, quiet, mine. Nobody can take it from me now. I grab my jacket and walk next door. Merelda's porch light is on. She's waiting with 2 mugs of tea already poured. We sit on her porch in the evening air, watching the street, not talking much. After a while, she asks, Do you think she'll actually make the payments? I don't know, I say. But if she doesn't, I know what to do. You did good, Garrick. Doesn't feel like winning. Because it's not about winning. It's about surviving, and you survived. I think about that. She's right. I survived. We finish our tea. I thank her and walk back home. 20 feet. Might as well be 20 miles for how different everything feels now. Inside, I take my medication. The pills I can afford now. The ones that keep me alive. I brush my teeth. Change into sleep clothes. Get into bed. Lie there staring at the ceiling. My daughter took my pension and went to the Seaside. She came back tanned and happy. She opened the fridge and saw the truth. And now she's paying it back. $200 at a time for 3.5 years. Maybe she'll learn something. Maybe she won't. But that's not my problem anymore. I close my eyes, and for the first time in months, I sleep without fear, Without anger, without shame. Just sleep. Tomorrow I'll wake up and my money will still be mine. Tomorrow I'll buy groceries without counting pennies. Tomorrow I'll take my medicine on time. Tomorrow I'll live my small, quiet life. And that's enough. More than enough. It's everything.